How did the project come into the picture? How did you think, Mr. Zierra, that there was a film here?
When I met Leon, I was, or I've been, still working on a Kubrick project about his creative process. And when I met Leon, the first day after we finished filming, I realized I just can't walk away from this. Even taking on another project, it's impossible and just, you know. But yeah, I was amazed by meeting someone in Culver City that has done all that work. It was like really mind blowing, and so we went from there.
Once you had zeroed in that he could be the subject of your documentary, how did you go about? It can't have been easy to secure the talent, to talk about him.
Well, first it was tough to convince Leon to do it because I learned from doing all the research. And before I met Leon, I've already done about 6 or 7 years of research on Kubrick himself. And so I knew about Leon's role, but I discovered that Leon was comfortable talking about Kubrick, but he was never comfortable talking about himself. And so that was a tough one in the beginning. I think we spent about 3 weeks of trying to get Leon to feel comfortable talking about himself. And I think there was a device in the end that kind of broke the ice. He had so much material at his home that is, I apologize for saying that, scattered everywhere all over his house. It's just overwhelming. And so I volunteered to organize all his stuff and put it in nice boxes, which is what you see in the attic. And but the beauty is, I figured that as we organize everything, he will remember. And yes, he started to look at stuff and he started to say, wow, oh my God, I forgot that I've done this and I've done that and I've done this. Are you kidding? And we just kept going.
And the process of putting together the interviews, again, that must have been also a challenge, right, from the producing side of things?
Yeah, Elizabeth, please. Yeah.
Well, one thing that was really wonderful was we did want to reach out to a number of people, obviously, and Leon gave us a list, tentatively, of saying, well, here are some people who might be willing to talk. And I don't know if I should speak for you, Leon, with this, but I don't think he necessarily thought people would agree, but they did immediately. And we had people come out to speak to us who have hesitated to speak in other projects, and there wasn't even a moment's hesitation. They were so happy to do it. So yes, of course, there was the producing aspect of having to get in touch with everybody, track people down, coordinate it, but even somebody like Danny Lloyd, who, was Danny in The Shining, who is a biology teacher now and rarely goes out and speaks to anyone, we found him, and he just said immediately, I would love to. So that was wonderful for us, as well as a lot of the people who had worked with Leon and Stanley were very, very happy to do it. So it was good.
And how long was the overall process since you began with the interviews and then you did the camera work, the editing? You're probably a two-person team. Most of the time.
Yes.
Yeah, just, that's it. And a little room up downtown.
In a small room near the Hollywood Bowl. That's basically was the two of us. Yeah, it was a pressure cooker, but it was something that was really beautiful. And I just, we both feel this, but we are so grateful that Leon allowed us to tell his story. And that's something we're always talking about. So thank you, Leon.
Should be told, really. It really is.
Because in a number of ways, this documentary is a companion piece to Harold and Lillian, A Hollywood Love Story, where you get to showcase talented people working behind the cameras, coming up with suggestions. The craft elevates everybody, as one of the interviewees says.
Yeah, and I really felt with this, and for us, speaking for both of us, it was on a mission. And the mission was to show what goes on practically every big film. How many people does it take to make one project? And the details. And you do see that Kubrick's films were all about the details. And it was beautiful to find someone that, I mean, I'm still amazed when, I mean, Leon says in the film that when Kubrick met him, when he met Kubrick on the set of Barry Lyndon, and he said, "Get me an 18," and he said, "I don't even know what that is." And then to the whole journey, at the end, he's color correcting his films. That's an achievement for someone that didn't know what a lens is, you know. And he's just done practically everything with Kubrick and in film, and it's a treasure, you know.
So,
amazing.
How was it, after all these years, a lifetime of work and devotion and patience and consistency, to be involved in this film? Tell us about your experiences and emotions.
Well, it felt a bit weird, of course, and it felt like I keep telling Tony and Liz, it felt like a giant public therapy session. I mean, it was like, oh my God. And but you know, the more we sort of went into, and by the way, that thing about Tony organizing everything in my house, that's true, and they need to come again. Best really, I got to talk to you about that. But you know, it brings forward so many memories, and then so many wonderful people that you meet in, you know, the area we work in, you know, in film, and in all the creative arts, of course. But close relationships at the time, you're working together with people who you would never have met before, all kinds of people with all kinds of different life philosophies. And I think it's an everlasting joy that I'll have. And that's, I started to feel, well, yeah, this is great, because now we're talking about not the star, not the director, you know, but, you know, people who give everything to do, you know, with making a good movie, you know, if they possibly can. And that for me is a jewel, a gem in my life. It really is. It's fantastic.
Very good. You have made us better viewers, going back to Kubrick's films and your contribution. Thank you very much.